Alright, so last night, right around midnight, one of the most shocking trades in the history of the NBA went down. And as I said before, I do believe it was the most shocking trade of all time. Because although there has been other great players who have been traded, this one was so unexpected, and it was a 25-year-old MVP candidate. With that being said, a lot of people are calling it the most lopsided trade of all time, and I definitely don't think it's that. Let's not forget who Anthony Davis is. This guy is one of the select few best players in the NBA, and behind probably only Giannis, he's probably the best two-way player in the entire league. He is an absolute force, both offensively and defensively. The biggest reason why it doesn't make sense is because he's 31 years old and has an injury history even longer than Luka. So it does seem like a very short-sighted move. But let me make this clear. The Mavericks are gonna be scary for the next few years. They already had a terrific defense, and now they added a guy who is continuously in the conversation for the Defensive Player of the Year award. But I'm telling you guys, they better win a championship in the next couple of years, because Mavericks fans are not happy. Dallas is currently on a road trip and isn't playing again in Dallas until February 8th. And that is a game I will be watching closely because I want to see what is the reaction going to be from Dallas fans. If I had to make a bet, I bet they're going to boo Anthony Davis every time he's announced in the starting lineup and every time he touches the ball to start the game. This move is shocking, and on my last video, I had tons of Mavericks fans telling me that they were depressed, that they were crying, and honestly, I don't blame them for it. Luka just led this team to the NBA Finals, averaging like 34, 10, and 9. If the Lakers had traded Kobe Bryant right after 2008, where he led them to the NBA Finals, yeah, I'd probably be crying too. Now, some critics were criticizing Luka, saying he's overweight, doesn't play defense, and is injury prone. And to that I say, this guy just averaged those incredible numbers, was in the MVP conversation, and led his team to the NBA Finals as the clear best player on that team. The proof is in the pudding. This guy is a winner, and this guy is a game changer. Say what you want about his weight, say what you want about his work ethic, and about his health, but regardless, he's getting it done, and he's getting him deep runs in the playoffs. Now let's look at things a little bit from the Lakers' perspective. What's really interesting is how this affects LeBron. And I don't care what LeBron James says, because we know he's not always 100% honest. How do you guys think he feels about this? These two recent comments perfectly sum up the opposite ways of viewing it. This guy says that it's obvious collusion to benefit LeBron, while this guy is acting like it's a situation LeBron would want to leave. Listen, I get why people like this guy think it's rigged and thinks LeGM is pulling the strings as he always does. But I don't know, man. I'm thinking this guy might have the better point. Because let's be real, from a basketball X's and O's standpoint, why would LeBron want this trade? Luka is a ball-dominant floor general, and LeBron is a ball-dominant floor general. These guys do not complement each other stylistically, and Luka will now be the most important star in Los Angeles. Is LeBron going to be okay with that? Anthony Davis was the Lakers' defensive identity, and Luka and LeBron are horrible defensive players. This new trade means the Lakers will be allowing 130 points basically every game. In the short term, they're not better from this trade. They're worse. Far worse. I still love the trade as a Lakers fan because when you get a 25-year-old MVP candidate, you can be patient and you can forfeit this season and build around Luka in free agency. But you know who doesn't have that kind of patience and time? LeBron James. He's 40 years old and has said himself that he's gonna hang it up soon. So if he wants to compete for more championships, he's gotta do it now. As shocking as this Luka trade is, I wouldn't be surprised to see a LeBron trade coming as well. With LeBron having a no-trade clause, he can basically dictate where he wants to go. Would he want to go to Golden State and play alongside of Steph Curry? Maybe he wants to go to Phoenix and finally team up with Kevin Durant. I don't know if any of this would happen, but both of these situations would make way more sense for LeBron than playing for a rebuilding Lakers team with no shot at competing for a championship. Now I'm gonna go somewhere that very few YouTubers are willing to go, and that's the topic of collusion. This trade makes no sense to us. Since Luka is a young franchise player, he's 25 years old, and what they got in return is a player in his 30s with an even longer injury history. Is it possible that there was some collusion going on? It does seem like the perfect time to conveniently get those NBA ratings back up. Well, of course it's possible, but I don't think that's the most likely scenario. I think the Mavericks management made a horrible mistake that no NBA executive should ever make. They got emotional and personal with this decision. They've clearly been frustrated with Luka's conditioning. His weight is constantly fluctuating, and it's been brutal on his knees. It seems like every offseason for the last few years, they've been confronting Luka about it, and it hasn't improved. And this whole situation has resulted in him missing many games this year as well. I honestly think they got tired of dealing with it and are making a gamble that they believe can win them an NBA championship. According to Brian Windhorst, they specifically wanted Anthony Davis, which is why they didn't open up Luka to the trade market. And I mean, I get why AD makes sense on paper, and the Mavericks roster is looking terrifying now, especially defensively. But man, these guys better win a championship in the next couple of years, or this will haunt them forever. Remember, people hated it when Toronto made a massive gamble in 2018 and traded away DeMar DeRozan for a one-year rental of Kawhi Leonard. At the time, it made no sense why Toronto would make this move. They made that risk because they believed they could win a championship, and that's exactly what they did. Not only was all forgiven, but now Masai Ujiri is celebrated for making that move. This could be a similar thing if the Mavericks end up winning a championship or two because of this trade. My closing thoughts on this video is that this should officially be the end of demanding loyalty from our star players. At the age of 25, after leading a team to the NBA Finals, Luka was traded without notice on a random Saturday night in February, just before he became eligible for a Supermax contract. Oh, and by the way, they basically called him fat and lazy on the way out. Why the heck should we expect an NBA player to be loyal to a franchise when this is how the general managers and owners treat them? Ultimately, it's going to be interesting to see where this all goes. But if I had to sum it all up, I think it's potentially a great short-term move for Dallas and a terrible long-term move. And for the Lakers, I think it's a terrible short-term move and an incredible long-term one. So what do you guys think? I know you've got a lot of thoughts, and we're all still processing this, so please share some of those thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.